But if you act slow and everything's okay and laissez-faire and like, oh, missed another goal. That's okay. Let's try again next week. Like, no, you'll never break past the $347,000 a year that you're at right now. Statistically speaking, I think that's about the average. But you want to get to 500 or 700 or a million or 2 million or 5 million. I was talking to a guy today. He did 150,000 last year. He wants to do 3 million this year. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's pretty darn unlikely, right? It's the end of January and like you're still don't have any work. So how come you want to do 3 million? Where have you earned the right to do $3 million in sales?
Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Mike Hickman here, founder of paintergrowth.com, and you're listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. And I am out of my studio today, and I even brought like a real microphone for this, but it's not working. Anyway, I am in San Diego right now. It is I'm at the Painter One annual franchise conference. Where it's me, Nick Slavic is also here. There's some other great speakers. Jesse Taryn is here with me. And yeah, we've just been speaking, and we were invited to open the conference, and we had a few sessions that we did. Jesse led some meditations and some intuitive work, some really, really cool stuff. And I also, I just did a presentation on marketing, on basically scaling a 7-figure marketing department within your company. And so I will not talk to you about meditations because that is Jesse's job. But for me, what I can talk about today is marketing and some of the lessons that we talked about. And talking to the owners here has been pretty cool. Very eye-opening. It's always good to like get in person and get talking to business owners and just get out of, from just on the computer behind the screen all the time and actually meeting people. And you learn a lot, right? And I mean, there's been some good things, some bad things, some really cool learnings, some things that I already knew, some reinforcements. But basically, the biggest thing that kind of I am taking away from meeting all of these business owners, and I mean, I met them all last year, but meeting them again is that, and this is for no one person in particular, but it's just in general at this event and other places too. Um, I think a lot of business owners in general don't take full responsibility for their business and for the outcome of their business. So if you're doing, 100,000 or 300,000 or 500,000 or a million, and you rely on word of mouth, you rely on referrals, you rely on repeat business, you rely on things that are kind of outside or, outside of your control. Um, then something happens like, the real estate market slows down. So you don't get any more, real estate work, or your referrals dry up, or people just start, you just repeat business dries up. And and because of these external factors, your business slows down and your painters have no work. And because you've been so reliant on these passive lead sources that are bringing in business and keeping you busy, you become complacent and you don't have the active marketing systems enabled in your business to be able to get the work where you need it. And this has been a common theme that I've seen. There was a lot of business owners here that kind of that have fallen victim to that. And when you rely on passive marketing systems, not only do you face these ups and downs that are out of your control, but then now you have someone to blame. You're like, oh, you know what? My business isn't doing very well, but it's not my fault because my referrals dried up, or it's not my fault because the real estate market is slow, or it's not my fault because the economy is slow, or whatever. And if you have this ability to externalize the results of your business to be someone else's fault other than your own, then you have no responsibility, no accountability, and ultimately like no recourse. Like, okay, so your business failed, or business is failing, not your fault. So what? Right. But for myself and any other business owners who have scaled to 7 figures and multi 7 figures and beyond, what we need to understand and really recognize and fully grasp is that extreme ownership is fundamental. It's everything. Taking 100% responsibility and ownership for every single aspect in the business, whether it's leads or sales or average job size or painters or productivity or quality or whatever. Everything is your fault. Everything is your responsibility. Everything is up to you to do good or bad. And if something is not going well, if there's a metric or a data point or a system in your business that is not where it needs to be, it's your fault, right? So we need to have this first fundamental understanding we call extreme ownership. I think there's even a book called Extreme Ownership, but it's just that concept that everything is your fault and you have responsibility for everything. Now, going back to marketing, year over year, at Painter Growth, we doubled our business, just about added, in 92% year over year growth, which was pretty cool. But I looked in some of the metrics and what we actually did. So we didn't rely on referrals. We didn't rely on agencies. We didn't rely on word of mouth, even though we did get lots of leads and clients from word of mouth and repeat business and stuff. We did a lot of high energy, high effort marketing. So we sent out 2.4 million emails. We spent $556,000 on Meta, Facebook, and Instagram ads. We made 80. I'm just remembering off my slide, but like we made 83,000 outbound phone calls. We created 2,300 opportunities. We generated 800 and whatever new clients. But we made it happen, right? If we just sat back and relied on word of mouth, relied on referrals, relied on all these passive lead strategies, we would have not grown. We maybe would have grown a little bit, but like if something negative would have happened in the industry, we've stopped growing, and then we have someone like we can blame someone else. But that's not how we operate, and that's not how you should operate either. You should take responsibility for it. And when it comes to marketing, you have two limited resources. So when it comes to anything in business, you have two limited resources, and these two limited resources are time and money. And at any given time, you have more of one than the other. You have more time, or you have more money. When you're a college student, when you're first entering your career, you have no time and no money, right? So you're trading your time for money, right? And then as you kind of grow your business, at one point you're going to have, probably no money and a lot of time. So because you have no money and a lot of time, you need to do the marketing efforts that are high effort, and low money, right? Like door to door, like email marketing, like strategic partner outreach, like cold calling, like phone calling. Like there's so many things that you can do that are low money, high effort. And then as you continue, as you make some money and you get some return and you get some momentum in your business, then you can start doing the things that are a little bit lower effort and higher cost, and then lower effort and higher cost, and lower effort and higher cost. And once you get to like 40, 50, 60K a month consistently, now you can start doing some things that are like zero effort, high cost, like Facebook ads, like Google ads, like the other pay for performance marketing systems. But if your business is small, like if you're doing less than 500K a year, you should have no ego. You haven't earned an ego to say, I'm not going to do these high effort marketing systems because I don't want to go door to door. I don't want to cold call. I don't want to pick up the phone. I don't want to put myself out there. Right. But I mean, personally, like I have no ego when it comes to marketing. Even our business right now, like I'm open to anything. If there's the opportunity to get a return on investment from it greater than I put in, then I am 100% open to those marketing channels. Heck, let's do it. Let's do as much as we can, because that's what we do. So I encourage you, have no ego when it comes to marketing. Do hard things, do the things that are, put you out of your comfort zone, and don't just sit back and rely on other people to send you leads. Even if you're, a semi-successful business doing $700,000, $800,000 per year, if you're relying on lead sources like referrals and word of mouth to drive your business forward, you are fighting a losing battle. Something is going to happen. The bottom's going to drop out, and you're not going to have the systems and techniques necessary to scale things up. Right. So we talked about extreme ownership there. We talked about you doing the hard thing, the type of marketing that's going to get the result, right? The grunt force, the brute force marketing. And then the next thing is urgency. And I've talked about this before, but this is called I call it the entrepreneur's curse, which is like, regardless of where I'm in business, how my business is doing, if I'm having a great month, a bad month, I always have this like unrelenting pit base in my stomach that is telling me that I'm not good enough. My business isn't good enough. I'm still like, I have further to go. Basically just like this pit that's unrelenting in my stomach that's always telling me I'm not good enough. And instead of letting this have power over me, I decided to give it a name. And so I call it the entrepreneur's curse. And essentially what it forces me or compels me to do is act with an unreasonable amount of urgency in my business. And urgency means acting on a day-to-day basis with not franticness, but just urgency. You need to get this done. I need to move this ahead. I need to hit my goal. I need to grow. I need to bring on these leads. I need to bring on these painters all really, really quickly. And nothing can happen fast enough for me. And if you act with a level of urgency like that, you're going to get a lot more done a lot quicker, right? Like if Thursday afternoon comes around and you are 10 leads shy of your leads goal for the week, you just like chalk it out. Oh, looks like this week isn't tracking. So I'm going to, um, I'm just going to hopefully have a better week next week, right? Or Thursday afternoon comes around, you're 10 leads short, and you're like, shit, I need to hit this lead goal. So you go out and you bang on doors, you pick up the phone, and you make phone calls, you open up your email and you start sending emails, and you do the action necessary to hit your lead goal. And then you can move into the next week, having seen that you hit last week's goal. This is way better than going into next week. Like, okay, you have the rest of the day, it's Thursday afternoon. You're 10 leads short. You have the rest of the day Thursday, you have all day Friday, you have all day Saturday, and you have all day Sunday, right? You have 3.5 days. That's half of a week left. Hit your goal. But people make excuses. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. No one's going to be answering the phone. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. I don't want to interrupt people during dinner. Oh, it's Friday afternoon. People don't want to hear from me. Oh, it's Saturday. People should be taking their time off. Oh, it's Sunday. Nobody works on Sundays. If you're making any of these excuses, you're not acting with enough urgency. You don't deserve to have $1 million business. Just plain and simple. In order to scale a business like that, you need to act with urgency. You need to be unrelenting and relentless and unreasonable. If your wife or your friends or your family or anyone tells you that you shouldn't be working on Saturday because no one works on Saturdays, or you shouldn't be making those phone calls at 4 o'clock because no one answers their phone at 4 o'clock on Fridays, you need to distance yourself from those people who are not letting you hustle, not letting you do the work that's going to make you more money, that's going to build your financial independence, is going to get you out of this position that you're now. We've doubled our business 4 years in a row, and I'm still not happy. I still, I still want to, keep scaling, and my business is not where I want it to be. And I hope you feel the same way. And because of that, I act with unreasonable amounts of urgency and scarcity. I mean, not necessarily scarcity, but like urgency um, and I'm pretty urgent with my team. I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty good leader and I give them the slack that they need, but they see me acting with urgency and they pick up on it. And so they work harder, right? It's just, if you act with urgency, your team's going to see it and they're going to follow. But if you act slow and everything's okay and laissez-faire and like, oh, missed another goal, that's okay. Let's try again next week. Like, no, you'll never break past the $347,000 a year that you're at right now. Statistically speaking, I think that's about the average. But you want to get to 500 or 700 or 1 million or 2 million or 5 million. I was talking to a guy today. He did 150,000 last year. He wants to do 3 million this year. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's pretty darn unlikely, right? It's the end of January and like you're still not any work. So how come you want to do 3 million? Where have you earned the right to do $3 million in sales? That's $249,000 per month. And you didn't do that much last year and you want to do that every month for the whole year and you want to start at the end of January, like, you haven't earned it. But you could do 1 million this year. You got to start now and you got to start pushing hard. You got to start doing everything. You're going to be working 70-hour weeks, right? People talk about work-life balance. As an entrepreneur, if you want that outsized reward, I have friends who are making $1 million in profit annually in their painting businesses, right? But they put in the work. They know what it takes, right? Some of them have put in a ton of money investing in starting their business. Others have put in a bunch of time. Again, you get to pick which one you want to put in. But if you're thinking that nothing is going to change in your life and your effort and you're going to double your business year over year, it's not going to happen. You either need to take an incredible amount of money and invest it in your business so you can leverage people and systems and software, or you need to take an incredible amount of your effort to scale your business. And if you don't have money, you only have one other thing to put in. That's time and effort. So hopefully you're working on the right things and you're not waiting for referrals to come in and you're not sitting waiting for your phone to ring, right? You're making it happen. In our growth last year, we made it happen. This year, we're going to make it happen again. We have plans to grow by about another 80% this year, right? And we're not going to sit back and hope that it happens. We're going to make it happen, right? Through marketing, through product delivery, through scaling our team, through investment, right? And I hope that you guys do that too with your business. Don't sit back and wait for it to happen. This is your chance to make it happen. Act with urgency, be in control. Don't make excuses. And if you follow that and take absolute extreme ownership over every aspect of your business. And on top of that, you also become data oriented. You look at your numbers, you know how much you're spending on marketing, you know what your return on investment is per source. Like you do need to become more data oriented, right? In order to grow a seven-figure company, you need to start acting like a seven-figure CEO much, much sooner than actually getting there, right? I like to compare like a six hustler with a with a seven-figure CEO, right? A six-figure hustler, so a business that's doing six figures, and the owner is a hustler. You're you're putting out fires, you're working as hard as you can, you're not leveraging yourself with team or time, you are, um, you know, basically answering the phone all the time. You're running around, you're relying on referrals, no systems and organization, versus a seven-figure CEO operates with a lot more certainty, uh, a lot more systems orientation. They understand how to use people and use systems and use software to leverage their time to get more done, right? They understand data and analytics and tracking. They understand accountability and control and urgency that we talked about. So you pick which one you want to be. Do you want to be a seven-figure CEO, or do you want to keep being a six-figure hustler? But to go from where you're at right now to seven figures, like I said, is going to take significant change. You need to make a change in your life. And to assume that you're not going to change and to try to double your business, like that's not going to happen. So what's going to give? Are you going to commit more time? Are you going to find a coach? Or are you going to invest a ton of money in your business? Like I said, if you don't have that money, it's got to be time, but you choose. The other choice that you can make is to not scale your business. And that's fine too. That's perfectly noble. You just don't, but don't not change anything and then complain when nothing happens with the business. Don't blame the economy or the government or your city or the real estate market or inflation or currency or anything external, right? Because it doesn't matter. The economy doesn't matter. The economy is not going to affect your painting business. You are the one who can affect your painting business. You are the only one who cares about your goals. You are the only one that cares about how much money you're making, how much business you're producing, how many employees you have, how much revenue you're producing. Nobody else cares. So it's up to you to make it happen because you're doing it for you and you're doing it for your family. So make it happen.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.